Okay, I'm gonna open up the public hearing of the installation of four-way stop signs at the intersection of Crane Neck and Georgetown Road. The reason why I'm opening up the hearing is to ask Gary if we've gotten any of the studies back from Merrimack Valley or something, because we were gonna do some stuff, and then,
Or when would we expect them?
and then we can just set the meeting, so we wanna set it for another month?
Yeah, do a good month. He said he was getting his traffic counters calibrated and whatnot, repaired, and he's gonna be putting them out there. That was a week and a half ago.
Okay, so, what are our meeting dates, what are our meeting dates in June? There's not one later? What do you got there, Archie? Are you on the calendar?
13 and then
I got
27.
one.
13 and 27 in June.
You want to do it on the 27th? No?
Might as well to be safe.
Is
I
that
mean,
all right
it's-
with you? 27?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to
continue.
continue the public hearing to June 27th of 2016. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Nope.
Should there be any discussion, Mr. McCarron? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The Garrison Bridge campaign. We have moved and moved and moved and moved to do this.
I mean, personally, I read the material. I mean, I would support their initiative.
You would or would not?
I would.
Yep.
No reason not to.
Yeah, exactly. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't think we need any testimony to that effect, and several other communities have done the same thing.
I mean, obviously, I think it's a tremendous campaign run by some students, so, and I would support it. So you want to take a motion that we would support this?
Sure.
Okay?
Second.
That would be the motion.
Yeah.
Any,
Second.
moved and seconded, any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Could you please send them an email saying that we think it was a, that we support them and thank them for undertaking this endeavor? All right?
Yeah.
All right? You? Okay. Cell phone town by the historic. Bob James is coming in at 7:30. He's the only one coming in. Cabot risk for police and fire insurance plan, number 5. Is this put on by whom? I would take it would be you, Chris? Yes.
The Cabot risk is for the police and fire, right?
It's the police, yeah, it's the Cabot risk. It's for police and fire insurance plan.
There's a list that starts with maximum current, option 1, option 2. Do you have that?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
There were some things that you could read about, whether you want to stay where you are or to make it higher. But if somebody gets hurt, they usually are getting their main payments.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't do that, then you have to come up with that money that isn't there.
Did you read through it?
I did. I mean, I want the premium versus last year versus this year. Is it going up? Is it the same? What's the?
Mike B., do you know anything about this?
I'm familiar with the type of policy. It's reasonably close because we're essentially in a, they kept it flat, our premiums, with all the insurances. However, it goes on the number of bodies. So they'll do, they'll do a count each year, and, if there's another, person added, the premium will go up a little bit. But it's
So if I'm reading this right, it says $19,279.
Yes.
Is
Is our
that
premium.
up or
Right.
down, or?
Yeah, we've been relatively flat.
So
this-
if-
you-
if-
so-
Even
So,
my,
so this is what you have budgeted, basically?
yeah, there's a little bit of room in that line item, because looking at this, you know, I'd probably go up with, you know, on the medical benefit, you know, from the company.
If more people join the fire department, for example, does that affect the premium, or?
It can, yes. They go by, especially when you have reserves and volunteers, that will look at it. It may not be dollar for dollar, but it may be, you know, up to 5 to 10, you know, 10 plus. It more, staggered a little bit more than that, versus people that collect a check every 2 weeks. There would be more dollar for dollar.
Right. So, do you see anything in what we're doing versus the additional optional things, anything that we should be doing?
I would probably recommend an increase in the medical benefit.
2.
To what?
At least doubling it from the existing, if not tripling it.
2 or
The
3.
accidental medical, that
Yeah.
line item?
Because what happens is, you know, nowadays, things are so expensive. If it's an officer gets hurt, you know, and they're working, then we have insurance to cover that. Once the insurance runs out,
Goes to the town.
it goes to the town.
Are there any other things you'd recommend up or down?
Do we even know, do we know if we double that, how much our premium would then be? No, of course not, right?
Nope.
And this needs to be in by June 1st?
So we have one meeting on the 31st.
Okay. Could you do me a favor? Can you look this over with Chris or whomever? We have an insurance advisory board. Have they even looked at this? No? Do we?
We don't do that.
No, we don't do that with this?
That's for,
Health insurance and
employees
benefits,
that are-
employees?
How about if we ask, what does 200,000 and 300,000 cost? And then we could talk about it on the 31st.
Perfect. But
Yeah.
again, Mike, if you want to look through this and see if you think anything else has changed, and then get some different quotes. If you think we should double it, get a quote for that. If you think we should triple it, then get a quote for that, and some other things, give us some incremental change, you know what I mean? Some aggregate changes of what, Adam, whatever. And so then we can have a.
I mean, I have to say, they don't give you much time to think about it.
Look into it, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you could do that, is that all right, Chris?
it's been 4 or 5 years since we upped any of the things
Well,
Okay.
on this list.
just in case, would we want to approve this just in case something happens and we don't? We want to have something in effect. Are we going to be able to?
So if we don't meet on the 31st, for some reason, that's already approved.
31st is the day, that Memorial Day parade could get nuts. We might not survive it. They might be putting real musket balls in those muskets. Well, just hide behind me.
They could blow out my eardrums so you can't hear.
Yeah.
So well, we're gonna make a motion that we're gonna at least double that, that he, I think we're gonna meet.
Okay.
I mean, it goes into effect anyway, doesn't it? Even if
We
we,
would
Yeah.
have to do it anyways. We wouldn't leave the town open. to
She's
that.
saying to reply back.
That's what I mean. If we don't do anything positive, and I just don't want it to lapse. That's what I'm saying.
She's saying reply by June 1st, but it's effective July 1st. so-
Oh, okay,
not
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know, I didn't realize, I thought it was actually the policy
No.
ended, okay,
no, it's
Okay.
July 1st.
Okay,
This is
fine.
for the fiscal year 2017.
okay.
Okay? Is that all right, Mike? You just give us recommendations
Yes.
so we can vote on them?
What's the?
And then, I'm sorry, but come back to us with that, make sure we have enough, that much money in the budget, you know what I mean? But those,
But
all those
also,
questions-
let's see what it was the last couple of years. Has it really,
Yeah, if you could give us the
skyrocketed
last
or
2
what?
years of the premium, because we know what the coverage was, what it would be if we doubled a couple of things or even tripled one, and then make sure we have, those questions will be asked if we have the money in the budget on that line item.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Is that all right with you, Joe? I'm
Yeah.
sorry I interrupted you.
Yep. Yeah, I just wondered what this other insurance thing is that Chris sent us. Is that something we have to talk about, or
Which one?
on Sue Yames?
Say that again?
Sue, for Sue?
That's just
No.
a bond renewal.
No, we don't have to talk about that.
Oh,
Okay.
that's, oh, yeah.
How about hospital benefit? We don't have anything.
Yeah, I think maybe we'll have.
Now the big item on the agenda.
Agreement of shared animal control with Newburyport. This is just a, if I'm not mistaken, I asked Mike if even the animal control officer should come in or discuss anything. Nothing has changed. This is just changing the dates of a contract. Correct?
Continue what we've been doing.
And how has it been, in my eyes, this has been, in your eyes, have you gotten anything when people are renewing dog licenses? I'm not trying to make anything up, but I think this has been running extremely
I
smooth.
mean, I think it's a win-win for both Newburyport and us. I mean, it's costing us less money, and it's helping them too, offset their
Well,
costs.
Yeah,
forget
it's
the
worked
money,
out.
we're not getting, I'm not getting phone
We're
calls.
providing the service too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not getting the phone calls.
Yeah, and
We're not getting anything. How
to
about
Scott-
you? You hear anything?
Scott's a very nice guy, and he's very responsible, and I know that everyone who's dealt with him, and, you know, I mean, a good example is the dangerous dog situation we had. I mean, he was on it, and he, you know, was able to talk to both parties, I think, and he's also, you know, responsive when we have
No birthday parties?
no birthday parties. No, we have
What's that?
wayward goats or something like that. He's also been on top of that, so.
He's responsible for the goats, really?
Well, he's the animal control officer, so
Ooh.
if
Michael?
Bless it. If anybody can, every single penny is worth what we pay.
Was there another dog problem? We never got a letter.
no, he informed me that there might be another problem. A person who had a problem with a dog came to see me. I informed them, I gave them the information that if they wanted to make a complaint or for a hearing, and I gave them the outline saying, this is what it is, and this is what you have to do,
It is what it is.
and, yeah.
No
New.
repeat offenders? It's
Not a
probably,
repeat, not of the,
probably best
last
we don't talk about it until it comes.
until, you know, so people have been informed.
I have a question before you leave on
Sure.
this. I didn't understand that, there's a sentence I didn't understand. It says, participating governmental units give each other notice to extend this initial one-year term, which I guess they just copied it, because
They just copied it, yeah.
yeah, so that's wrong. But what I didn't understand is it says at least 90 days prior to the annual town meeting of West Newbury, but no later than 90 days prior to June 1st of the then current term. What's the English version of that?
Meaning they wanted to get it, they wanted to have us notify them earlier so that they could plan their own budget situation. So the idea being is
Earlier, I mean, I didn't understand what they meant by this. I don't know if
Yeah.
you guys do.
that what it meant is that we're supposed to, if we don't want to continue it,
We have to give
to-
notice, but.
we have to continue.
When?
But they wanted to, it says that, and then, but then in another section, it says basically we can terminate it, you
It's on the
know,
bottom of the first page.
you know,
It says we can terminate with
Yeah.
X days' notice.
yeah.
I mean, it's,
Can we make this longer than a year?
Yeah, we can make it as long as we want. Most parties were happy as go year for year to year and, you know, kind of take a look at it and, because, you know, things change and,
Fine.
You might get a different person that
Yeah, we don't
isn't as responsible, or,
Scott-
yeah.
Scott leaves and somebody
Yeah.
doesn't respond, then
yeah, and then we're not happy,
keep it.
you know.
I had one question about the contract. It's, so, we supplied the truck,
Right,
and they're doing the maintenance.
Mhm.
But what if the transmission goes or something like that, then whose problem is it?
It's their problem, meaning they're responsible for
Even when the
doing
truck
it.
dies.
Even when
When
it's
it
a
dies.
disaster?
When
Yeah.
it dies, then they might call us to tow it away, but we pay the insurance on it, but they're responsible for all the maintenance of it. So,
But at some point, it's going to not,
yes.
yeah.
And then we would have to address that.
Then we'll
Yeah.
have to, okay. My other question is, I'm just curious, where is the shelter? Where is it? Anyone
It's in
know?
Newburyport.
But where? I'm just
That I don't
curious.
know. I don't know.
I don't know, do they, where is their municipal garage in Newburyport? Over near the executive park?
Industrial park area, across the street from the Knox Middle School is a road, I think it's an open place.
Yeah.
It's down there about a mile.
On the left?
I don't think there's anything down there.
What we used to use when we had our own, we used a vet. The people across the bridge in Haverhill.
Oh, okay.
So it's really not a shelter per se.
Yeah.
It was
So-
for boarding and stuff like that. They might do the same thing because generally you have to have 24-hour care.
Yeah, so maybe they,
No, I think they have a place. But,
Oh, okay.
I'll check with it.
doesn't,
Scott.
I'm just curious,
I-
yeah.
I know they have one, so they might use a vet office too, you know.
The reason why I said DPW is that I just knew Burlington had theirs at a DPW garage.
It might be easier
some
for them
runs.
just to, given the
You know it's
small
not-
number, to farm it out.
Farm
to,
it
like,
out, yeah.
Newbury Animal Hospital or someplace like
Yeah.
that, which has,
Well, that's what I was saying. That's what they
Yeah.
probably do. That's what we did with the Haverhill one.
yeah.
You all right with it?
Yep.
I make a motion to approve the contract for the intermunicipal agreement of shared animal control services with the city of Newburyport.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Make a motion to accept the minutes of May 2nd as amended.
I have some amendments. Okay if I just give them to Chris?
Yep. I would. Is that all right with you?
Yeah.
Okay, I make a motion.
Are there any other amendments?
No,
Okay.
I didn't have any.
Okay. All right.
I never
Second?
have any. It's been moved and seconded.
Aye.
Did you have any discussion?
No, I'm good on it.
Aye.
Aye.
Appointments. I kind of made it broader. We had talked about which committees that we're appointed to, and maybe if we need to or not.
I don't, there's this list that was put together, but
Glenn, it's which one do you see?
there's,
Yeah,
there's some,
more on, there's more than this.
yeah, I mean, Archie's on the website, you're on Cable Advisory, you're on the Community Center.
You're on the community center.
I think
Yeah.
you're on the Car Post Committee too.
The what?
Car Post?
Yeah.
You're on like half the committees.
Yeah, I want to get off of most of them.
I have a question for Chris. Chris, it says Joe's financial for the 3 finance directors.
That was the finance, she called me and asked me exactly
Is
what
that the Pawtucket Regional Finance
Yes.
Yes.
Advisory Committee?
Yes.
Okay.
What is it called?
Pawtucket Regional Finance Advisory Committee or Advisory Committee, whatever.
Okay.
I think, can we start with this? I think there's a couple that we're required to be on by either bylaw or policy or whatever, and that's the capital improvements, the community preservation, investment policy, and the
CPC.
and the Pawtucket thing, yeah.
CPC.
Is the CPC
CIC,
a
CPC.
bylaw too?
Yeah, yeah, a CPC is, we
They-
need a selectmen's rep, and we need to, can you dig out, while we're talking about that, sorry to interrupt you, Joe, whose terms are up for the CPC? And inform all the boards that they have to vote in an open meeting with minutes on who the representative is going to be. And we have to elect a selectman's representative, because my term is up, and
Personal lodge.
Thank you. A person at large, who's that person is up to, and that person does not want to do it.
Oh,
Is
okay.
that Sandy?
Yeah. So, in the back of our heads, we have to think of that. And I just want to remind all the other committees,
Was
The-
that
that-
CPC, was
the
that?
CPC, the Community Preservation Committee,
Mhm.
has by statute, by bylaw, has certain representatives from different committees, like,
I know.
so I'm not sure who's up or who's not up. I really don't, I can't remember. I know I'm up from this committee. I know the at-large person is up, so we have those two. I just want you to send a reminder to all the committees who's up, that they have to vote and have those people.
I think there's only one, and it's the
it-
person at large.
Okay, it is what it is. I don't know who it is, so that's great. I don't know. So,
Okay.
my personal opinion on these is, we're on too many.
I agree.
So it's almost like every time we make a committee, we say we need a selectman's representative. So I like, when we start doing this, I'd like to think like that CCC, I don't think it's like a 9 or 10 person committee, there's no need for that. The car post, there's no need for to have a selectman on that.
Those would probably be the first two that I would think of to
Yeah,
remove.
there's no need for it. A stormwater, insurance advisory committee, I mean, I guess we never meet on those, but Joe's finance committee, I think that's important. The investment policy committee is important. CPC, obviously, the CIC, we need one. I mean, I wouldn't mind I mean, if you don't want the CIC, I could even, just if you want more, I'll switch with you, or switch with somebody from the CPC,
I mean, I'll switch too if you want.
whatever, so we can start thinking about that, if you want.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you want to do it now, we can do it now, I don't care.
Want to do it next time?
I don't care, whatever you want.
You want to? Or what do you want to do? I don't care either, it doesn't
I
matter.
mean, we could get, I'm fine doing it now if you want, or next time, it doesn't matter.
Could we go through it?
I'd rather just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Down the
Are these all of them?
Yeah,
Because,
all-
see, I don't know either. I would prefer to go through them and make sure that it's all of them.
Okay.
I
You know what I
think,
mean? Because I've already...
well, I know which ones I'm on, they're here.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I don't know which ones I'm on.
Okay, we can wait.
Because you get on 1,000 of them and you don't know.
Chris had a question.
Or do you want to,
Did we do anything about the EMA? Is
We haven't done
that
anything
has
about-
to be on.
we haven't done anything
haven't
about
done
anything.
anything.
So don't be we haven't done anything about anything.
Okay.
And even if we start doing this, the terms don't run out until June 15th. So it won't be effective until June 15th.
Right,
So it doesn't matter if we do them now or not.
Okay.
fine, fine.
Okay. But one thing I would like to do is this Richard Atwater. He's a pretty extensive resume. He wanted to be on the car building committee. I
How
like
many
to.
people are on that committee?
m-
It's a lot.
It's Amy Friend, Bob Janes, me, and Gary,
And Bart.
And Bart.
and
yeah.
Bart.
So are there two do we need two at large or, I think we.
I would take the selectman one off just so they don't get in the way and put this guy
guy's
on.
fine.
Sure.
I move to appoint Richard Atwater to the Car Post Committee for a term ending June 15th, 2017.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Want to make a motion that we take the selectman off that committee?
Sure. I move to remove the selectmen effective June 16th, 2016, from the Car Post Committee.
Okay. All in favor?
2016.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Is that what I said?
Okay. Did you have any questions that
You want to go
wanted-
off the communities? Should we?
Oh, no, actually,
You want to do the community center thing too?
yeah,
It's up to
You
you.
want-
It's you. So it's up to you.
yeah, I do, actually.
You want to go off? So you want me?
But let me think about that.
Okay.
And the reason why I don't want it to seem like we're getting off because of a reason, other than just trying to get off less committees, because we're on so many committees. There's no need, it seems like we were just starting to do that, and that was my fault, I think.
Well, and that committee has a lot of people.
It's tons.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
One other thing, we're talking about appointments. Chris, As we did, if, I'm asking you guys too, as we did last year, we checked to see that the people that were reappointing took the state ethics within the last 2 years. Can you also check, when you get the list for who's going to be reappointed, can you check to see that they've done that?
And how do you want me to speak to all of them? Just if they want to be,
Well, it's a state law.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing
oh,
to
I don't mean about that. I mean,
If they still want to be reappointed?
yeah.
Why don't we figure that out? Okay, we need to start appointing people next meeting, because we only have 2 meetings until the 31st and the 14th, until everybody's appointments expire.
It's
So can we
been-
So with their, no, but with their little postcard thing, it should be another piece of paper that says that you have to,
I don't understand the postcard thing.
well, the little thing that we signed, the official.
Appointment letter.
Yeah.
So what are you saying?
So we have another piece of paper that says you have to, just to remind them in writing that they
Well, I
have
don't
to.
want to vote to reappoint them unless they've done it.
But they might not
No,
have,
unless we reappoint.
unless they're in a,
Reappoint them, yeah.
in
Yeah,
the,
because you can't expect somebody to do it. if
in
they're-
arrears, you can't expect them to have done it.
No, to reappoint, that someone's term that's expired.
Okay.
Okay, why don't we start this way? Let's start the appointments. Give us the big list of appointments by next meeting. And if you could, find out who in those appointments have taken the ethics. Why don't we just start there? Is that all right?
Within the last 2 years.
Yeah, if they have to be current, right?
You have a list, right?
They have all the certificates they give.
But whatever, this can be done? Is that fine with you?
Yep.
Okay, let's go back up to, because Mr. James is here, let's go back up to the cell phone tower with the Historical Commission. Bob, would you come up, please? Bob is representing the Historical Commission, but they have not met to talk about this individually. He was the only person able to attend tonight.
Correct.
Okay.
Bob?
Make sure that's on, Bob, please?
It's on?
No, it's not.
Make
on.
sure it's on.
Mr. Chairman, I'm
It's
confused. So
It is?
this
Green
is
light.
strictly Bob's opinion, or the committee did talk about it?
Well, the committee met to talk about it because they wrote a letter.
Well, Bob is here to tell us about the letter, because they did meet about that and send it. But they haven't met after we've sent them some information saying, hey, what's up with this, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
We did meet,
Okay, so,
how long ago was that, Glenn? 6 months, 8 months?
November, I think it said.
Yeah,
November.
Yeah.
so our thing is that we've been waiting for the cell people to get back to us on whether or not a good site was amenable and so forth and so on. And then I checked with Gary, and then Gary came across the paperwork and said, yeah, I'll give this person a call. And they said, oh, I thought you knew this is all on hold because the Historical Commission gave us a letter stating that they're not happy with the site location of the cell tower. Is that all kind of correct or correct?
I'll have to
Well-
reread the letter because I don't remember us saying we were opposed to it. I do remember that we had sent somebody a letter
This is a really
giving
long
the,
letter.
yeah, giving the, the historical background of the parcel of land. But once we had sent it, we've never heard another word from anybody. So we never heard whether they were going to go through with it, whether it was you guys or who was going to do it.
It's come to our attention that Cellco Partnership is seeking to build a 120-foot monopole communications tower with the medium intensity dual red and white strobe at 693 Main Street, West Newbury, Mass. A few years ago, extensive research was conducted regarding the historical significance of John C. Page School, a building that sits on this site across the street from the designated cell tower location. Let us share with you the statement of significance prepared by the, okay. So then we go with the statement of
The last paragraph.
that, and then that's just all the stuff from the state. And then the last paragraph, as clearly documented in this assessment, which you can find online. Pipestave Hill is a historically rich area, significantly architecturally and historically to the town of West Newbury and Commonwealth of Massachusetts. In this same document, the Massachusetts Historical Commission declares approximately 350 acres of of Stave Hill eligible for a historic district designation. We feel that constructing a cell tower within the area would have an adverse effect. Specifically, it would have a negative visual impact and devalue the historical value of Pipe Stave Hill. It is necessary to resist changes to this area and will not enhance the visual or historical value of the property. Instead, preserve the open space and buildings as they now stand. Bob Janes, Dorothy Kavanaugh, Jeff Lee Cluley, and Amy Frank.
Okay.
So, we have a couple of things here. So, obviously, what we're finding out is that anytime you deal with the federal government on anything, licensing and stuff, so forth and so on, i.e. even the bank, because they had to get an FID,
Right.
FDC, whatever it is.
FDIC.
Yep.
Thank you. Thing, that they automatically call the local, or contact the local historical commissions in the town, anytime you deal with the federal government. Who knew? We know now.
So they contacted you?
Yeah, because we sent them a letter, and
Yeah.
that's the last we heard.
Okay.
It was.
They
it was-
contacted them.
Yeah, I know they had a legal notice they posted in the newspaper, because I saw that, requesting input also from the public.
So, is there, what's up? Is there anything, I mean, so I think it's everybody's understanding, so this is new to me, and that the area of the ball fields and
Garage.
the garage and the recycling area and all forth like that was part of the historical,
The whole part of it, yeah, the whole 350 acres was part of the historical significance of it. I s-
of
yeah,
that.
you're
So we
right.
didn't know, because we've never run under the, we've never had this discussion on anything we've ever built up there.
Right.
Or done up there.
No.
Solar towers, solar tower, even though it's small. The new garage, the salt shed when we had that put up years and years and years ago. So this is kind of, we
Well,
would
this
have
is-
liked to known about this.
So this is the first time we've really had an active, if you will, historic commission.
Okay?
We have a meeting tomorrow night.
Mhm.
It's not on our agenda,
Mhm.
but I can bring it up.
Well,
If we're not going to wind it, figure out how we want to proceed at this point.
legally, Michael, they could probably, this is something kind of unforeseen that came up, so they could add it to their agenda because it has some,
He didn't foresee it at the time he did the agenda, yeah?
No, we had no idea until the other day when Chris called me and told me you wanted to talk to us about it.
okay?
Because like I said, we sent that letter and then we've heard nothing
So
since.
what would be the appropriate questions we would ask Bob to bring back to his commission that we would want answered?
Is there a different site other than what they proposed that would be more acceptable, that would work for everybody? And I don't know what that is, because, I mean,
Yeah, I'm
Verizon
not
has
sure
it.
either at this
Yeah.
point. It's been a while.
On that side of the road, it would be closer to the school.
I don't know what that means.
Farthest away from the school or 113, you can,
That site is.
yeah. When they, it's sort of like two,
Hold on for one, you need to get on the microphone,
Yeah,
because you're
especially
giving
this,
too much information.
it's sort of like
On the Mill Pond side of the road, was on the committee when we developed Pipe Stave Hill with the soccer fields and all that. And then when the Greenbelt thing come up,
Mhm.
for a long time, there's been a section of it cut out for general
Municipal
municipal use, where the highway garage is, where the
Recycling
where the
is?
recycling is. It goes around like the horse rink, it goes up the long side of the driveway where the road goes down back by the soccer fields, that's the line. There's a map of it, you have it somewhere of it.
It's in here.
Yeah. Anyway, that part went to Greenbelt, and the part that's cut out of that is for general municipal use, so which I wouldn't think would be doing much of anything historical on it, because the town's gotta have a place to operate its infrastructure and whatnot that's not.
So Mike, how
What's-
about that?
Yeah, what's the 350 acres? Is there part of that?
The whole piece from the river all the way to
all the Dunn property.
On the other side of the
Yeah.
road and
All the Dunn property, out around Chase Street, out to Aqua's Place, Mill Pond.
You guys went for the whole ball of wax.
Well, that was
That was the first.
that was the first deal. I mean,
That,
the whole 350 acres was considered, if you read that,
Right.
was considered historic. And I mean, that's where it came from. That was decided by the state, not by us.
Right.
It was decided by the state that that was a historic
but
site.
was the
No,
Dunn
it-
property ever part of?
No, the Dunn
Yeah.
property's got nothing to do with it.
Oh, I thought somebody said the Dunn property, so that's
Well,
why.
it abuts the Dunn.
They didn't say it is historical, they said it could be historical, I think. It's not declared historical, it says it can be historical, right? So it isn't, nothing up there is technically declared historical, it's historical
It could
eligible
have
if you wanted to.
historical significance to the town, I think that's,
Could have.
I mean, I have my own opinion, but
Okay.
I'll talk to the rest of the commission tomorrow and see where we stand.
What,
on it.
go ahead, Glenn.
obviously, we'd like to work this out.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is very new to us and kind of disheartening in the sense that we've been working on this for 100 years. And I understand that your point, and I think that's well taken, that you have a very active historical commission now.
Right.
That might, and this has come up recently because this all happened because of the paid school and the renovations we were doing in the,
Right.
in the CPC money that we wanted to
Right.
use for the renovations. So this wasn't around when I first started, when we were talking about
No.
cell towers up there, so I can understand that. But we would, I personally would like to see if we can do something together. I don't know if this is even, is this a stopping thing? Does this woman say, you know, if they don't find it, whatever, does this stop everything?
It's not them, it's the FCC will not
Give
give
them
them.
their
a-
licenses?
If the historical commission's not on board, the FCC won't grant them a license, period.
So they could build it
They're
and
not- yeah.
not have to use
Well,
it.
they're not
Not be able
gonna,
to use
Turn
it.
on.
Yeah.
they've already spent a lot of money testing and everything up there for the site, so I don't think they're gonna pursue it unless everybody's on board that that's where it's gonna be, so. If the town boards and committees can't agree on that, that's where you're gonna put it, then I don't think they're gonna go forward with
So
mine.
do you understand where
Is
it's going?
Oh, I understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Do you understand where it's going to be?
Not exactly.
Okay, so
It's
that
been a
might-
while since I've seen the map.
So it might be a good, it might be, so when you go back to your meeting tomorrow, that you have an understanding.
If I could get a copy of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's right where it's
Make it
proposed,
simple, right where the wood chip.
Pile is, that.
Oh, okay.
you know,
Yeah.
taking around
I
the
know,
corner,
yeah.
right there. I mean, it's pretty,
Yeah,
I'll give you
no,
my copy.
No, now that he says where it is, I know where it is.
Yeah, that's exactly where it is.
No,
Yeah.
it is, it is, it is.
My question would be, are there any, besides location, would there be other things that would mitigate the visual downside to it, you know, like making the Christmas tree kind of
Yeah.
ones?
A
or
different pole. They have monopoles as in, they look like flagpoles that have all the electronic stuffs inside.
Yeah, Groveland has one, and there's a couple I've seen on 95 southbound that have,
Yeah,
just look like a stovepipe.
It looks like a flagpole.
There's a half a dozen different kinds they can do. They can make them look like a tree, they can make them look like a flagpole, like you said, they can make it look what they're proposing. And then you got the ones with all the wires coming off it, going everywhere. You don't want that, obviously.
But I would like to be able to try to work something out.
Gary, when they tested it, did they like that particular spot because of just convenience to the wiring, or just the geography of the area? They like that spot, or could it be on the water tower? I'm just thinking outside the box. I don't know.
We passed something a while back, I don't know whether it's in writing or not, but nothing would be on the Page School side within so many feet of the Page School. They originally wanted to put it over there where that tower is, years ago.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I know.
Feedback with the children and the
Yeah,
cell towers,
yeah.
there's not enough evidence if that's bad.
Yeah, and the water tower wouldn't be a good spot for it.
And-
It'd be that too
There's so,
close to the
and there's
kids.
so many feet over a tree line that they need to have it, you know, they can't, they came in years ago and made a huge present. I don't know if these people are the people, but we've had, this isn't the
Oh,
first go around.
I understand.
So they came in that area because of West Newbury and its dead zone, and obviously the height of the hill, and it gets them over the tree line so many feet. which is important.
Yeah, right now, there's basically, because we haven't come up with any site for anybody over the past few years, every town around us, they have an antenna like right on, as close to the West Newbury border as they can have it all the way around us.
Oh.
We're missing a piece in the middle's the problem. So they've been
It would help
actively
cell
trying to
coverage
do
for
it.
our employees, excuse me, for our citizens, and, because that's the way we're going, and it's gonna have revenue for the town. That was the first time. That's the reason why we started it, quite honestly. We're looking for different revenue sources.
You're probably missing out on probably at least 30,000 a year for the one tower.
Makes sense.
Yeah, probably even more.
That's
The one-
basically with the base where they start around.
One in my office park, which is a monster, which you would not want up there. They get $250,000 a year for it.
Holy crap.
What?
You should see it though, on Route 3, Route 3 in Billerica. I couldn't believe it when the guy told me, he goes, yeah, it's unbelievable.
It's-
They don't do anything to it. They just provided the land for it. They don't do anything, nothing other than cash the checks.
It's just like the siren pole. You could ask 100 people, nobody would know there's a siren tower right there in the driveway when you're driving.
No, you wouldn't know.
No.
No,
Once it's there, it's like
Seabrook
it's-
Station.
Right.
You wouldn't know it was there.
No, you wouldn't.
It's the same thing, and
But we
in
would ask
6
if
months
we
you
could
would.
work- I feel this is an olive branch, and I'm being very serious, and I'm not being facetious, because I feel, which has been true, that the Historical Commission has been left out of other things that are happening in the town, which should not have happened. So we would actually like to work with you guys to be able to try to get this done. And if
Yeah,
this is an
I'll-
olive branch from us to you guys saying, hey, let's try to work together, we can do a site walk, whatever, but I think we all know where it needs to be, and
Yeah.
try
But
to
we
get-
could also make it as nice as possible at ground level too, not just the
Yep.
pole itself, but
Yeah,
Around
Because most people see the industrial-looking ones, like
Right.
the one that I was talking about. I mean, it looks like the Eiffel Tower, you know what I mean? It's just the most disgusting thing, but they don't care, you know, because it's in an office park.
I'll bring it up to the commission tomorrow night, and we'll let you know.
Thank you.
okay.
Here, why
I
don't you,
think-
why don't you, I'm sorry, Joe?
Well, just to piggyback on what you just said on working together, I mean, I think the Historical Commission had brought up, if my memory's wrong, correct me, but, I mean, we want to revisit the other,
Demolition bylaw?
Oh, the
Yeah,
demolition,
so-
yeah.
I don't know if you gentlemen have seen it yet, but I've sent a letter to
Yeah.
you
Yes, we have.
and the Finance Committee,
yeah, I think,
and I've talked to
Building
the...
inspector, I thought you
And
had on
the
there.
building inspector.
You always want to be in the same room at the same time.
That was my intent of what I'd like to see.
I think it's a great idea.
Let's
so
do
we'll,
it.
we'll
Yeah.
we'll
And I'd
do
like to
that.
see it, I'd like to see it at a night during the week when you guys don't have a meeting, when the Finance Committee doesn't have a meeting. That way you've got plenty of time to air any opinions that you have, and you don't have to run out to another meeting. You can sit down, we can figure out,
Well, let's do it. Let's do it in
that's
the
all
next
I'm waiting
month.
for, just,
Let's do it in the next month or two. So who's gonna,
Yep.
would you like us to facilitate that meeting?
it doesn't matter.
Okay,
We can
so-
do it as the Historic Commission, it doesn't matter.
Well, I'm not saying facilitate it as in run the meeting, I'm just saying to try to get everybody in the same room at the same time. So if you guys want to try to get everybody in the room at the same time, but we have a full-time employee that can try to get everybody in the room at the same time
That
and
would-
send the...
That would probably, if you can get a hold of the Finance Committee.
That's what I'm talking, I'm not
probably
talking
better
about,
than I can.
I'm not talking about run the meeting, we can just all sit in a round circle and nobody runs the meeting, but it's a good discussion and have everybody there at the same time.
That's what I'm looking for, so
I
everybody's
think
on the
it's
same
important too to
page.
bring this back. The selectmen were not against the idea of the demolition bylaw.
We wanted to.
We wanted, we could just tell it was gonna go down in flames.
Right.
And we wanted to present it to the town,
So that it would go.
so it
Right.
would
Yeah.
pass. So I think that we,
Well, that's why I wanted everybody together.
okay, so
FinCom
Chris, in the next couple of months, we'll send out, in the next week, we'll send out feelers of how we all can meet.
Yeah.
And if we all have to, we might be able to meet earlier in the day for people.
Works.
We'll try to work it out.
Or maybe on a Monday where we don't meet.
Yeah, Monday when we don't meet.
Yeah, I just wanted to, I said Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, because you guys meet on Monday, who knows when the Finance Committee, but Friday's a weekend, and,
We'll-
you know,
no,
some
I'm not
other
meeting
time.
They,
Monday.
they meet a lot less now going into the
Right,
summer.
Yep.
that's right, so.
Okay,
That's
excellent.
all I was looking for.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, and I'll get
It was a
back
great
to you.
idea.
I'll get back to you on the Pike Stave Hill.
Thank you.
Yeah, email Chris.
Yep,
Thank you, or have somebody from me.
I'll talk to him.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Make a motion to accept the invoice warrants. Did you have any questions?
Second.
I saw a sticker on one. It might have been, no?
I had one, but I forget, let me look at it, I forget.
I wrote a sticker or two. I don't remember what it was on. It was late at night.
Oh, it was like it was a really small one, but it was from November, and it said it wasn't paid because of insufficient funds, or I just didn't get that. It was on the November warrant, and so why was it back? I just wasn't sure about that.
Yeah.
It's only $60, but I did see it.
So he'll get that answer for you?
Thanks, Bob.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was there another sticker?
Yep, there is.
The other one says crossover fiscal years. Did you write that?
Wasn't me.
No, that was us. We were just
Okay.
pointing that out.
Okay, no. Okay, second.
It's been moved and seconded, and you get that, Archie will get that answered. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I move to approve the payroll warrant.
Second?
Any stickers?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain. Placing things on future agenda. Joe?
I don't have anything.
Well, I didn't know if we were going to discuss them tonight, because we have the letters about them, but what we're going to do about the, are we going to have a formal bed and breakfast policy, or are we going to do it, it seems like we should have
Well,
a checklist on how to do that.
yeah, we need to. I think Mike wrote a letter on that already, but I think we had asked for feedback from the building inspector regarding what our current zoning bylaws allow and don't allow.
We haven't gotten that yet.
Okay.
Well, I'm sorry.
That we could put that on our next agenda.
Oh, sure. Maybe have them come in, I don't know. Or have them write a letter at least.
Whatever you want to do.
Have them write a letter.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, we could ask Chris to ask him.
Well, we've asked for it, so
Have we asked him for it?
Who?
Glenn Closey?
No.
No.
okay.
I think it would be nice to have a formal policy, because then we can't, someone can,
Well, we
then you can't be accused of favoritism, or you didn't do, you didn't.
I mean, we
If
have to.
I know we
Right.
have to, but we have the rules, but then we can customize them to,
It's what we want.
yeah.
So why don't we ask Glenn to write us a letter stating what, under this premise, what is allowed and what is not allowed under the current zoning bylaw. And then we'll formulate something with the guidance of Mike and Mike on next week, next time.
Okay, and I'd like to have information from the Board of Health, too, in terms of
If there are any
septic issues and that kind of
That's a
thing.
good idea.
Like, does it, my question, going forward would be, when we talk about, when someone talks about, the regulations talk about lodgers, individuals rather than bedrooms, whereas the septic regulations talk about bedrooms. So how does that, how do we work those numbers? Is one bedroom, one person, two people, three people, four people? How many is one bedroom?
Do you understand that, Chris? So we want to know about, from the Board of Health, that's an excellent point, Archie, and from Glenn about lodging. And the one about the Board of Health would be if the septic systems would, strength, how many people?
I mean, the septic systems are set up per bedroom, but the application is is by lodgers rather than.
Yeah, do you understand that, Mike?
Yeah,
You understand what we're saying?
I asked the question of Paul.
Oh.
And
Well,
essentially,
then
What'd he say?
then
Is-
why are you
essentially
sit-
is that-
Why are you sitting back there while
Well, I
we're
mean-
trying to figure this out?
is that, basically, it's treated the same as residential house, so that. the
Doesn't matter how many bed, I could
It
have.
matters how many, no.
I
the
could have
septic system-
700 people live in my house as long as they have 4 bedrooms?
No, the septic system is going to be sized on the basis of, a presumption that there'll be 2 persons per bedroom. That's how.
Okay.
But
that's
so
the
they're
number
not
of
separate regulations for bed and breakfast /
I
lodging
understand.
house.
Okay, so
It-
2 per bedroom is the way it's.
That's
So
how-
hypothetically-
That's what they presume.
Hypothetically, if somebody has a 4-bedroom home, and it's Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and they're the only ones who live there with their dog Scruffy, that if they wanted to open up a B&B under our regulations, a portion of that, we would have a limit of 6 people to that home. Because that would be a 4-bedroom
They're
home.
apples and oranges, meaning,
Really?
meaning that the regulations would say that's a 4-bedroom house, okay? That under the septic, okay?
Yeah.
And that's how it's sized.
Yep.
And
And
the
hypothetically-
regulations don't necessarily tell you how many people can reside in the house. So, because you could theoretically have a family with 10 kids in a 4-bedroom house.
Well, that's what I just said to you.
Yeah,
I said,
but
I could
that's
have a
why I say it's
4-bedroom
apples
house.
and oranges. That, what I'm saying is that the the regulations presume 2 people per bedroom, and that's how they size the septic system
I
in
got it.
order to be efficient. Now, when someone's looking at whether or not this property is suitable to be a lodging house, you would look and see how many bedrooms are approved, and you could make your decisions based upon that information. You see
Yeah,
why?
that's what I just said. So Mr. and Mrs. Smith, we could put a
But
regulation.
that's what Glenn just said.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if they have a 4-bedroom home, and there's only 2 people living in the house, that means they're gonna rent 3 rooms. So we could say that if you have 3 rooms that you're renting, you only can, we would limit 2 to each room.
Again, yes.
And that would be a guideline. It's
But it
not-
wouldn't be a violation, my point is, it wouldn't be
It
a
wouldn't be
violation
a
of
violation
the
if they
septic.
were living there.
It wouldn't be a violation of the septic, because the septic rules are just for sizing of
wouldn't
determination.
be a
But it would be, but it
But it
would be
gives
a
us a-
reason for you to give a condition.
Exactly.
Right,
It gives us
right,
It gives
okay.
us a
It gives us
guideline.
we gotta know
Yes.
what, some kind of a number.
We have to have some
exactly.
Yeah.
threshold, we have to have some guideline that we, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Okay, so.
Because we don't
2
want to
per-
get it into that.
I mean, that
Because we
just-
don't want to do it so ambiguous that we'll say, well, it's 2 adults and 3 children,
yeah.
but to the adult, no, it's.
Keep it simple. 2 per bedroom makes it simple, yeah.
Okay, so we don't have to have Chris, we don't have to have the Board of Health come in,
Oh, okay.
just Glenn, right?
Yeah.
With that?
Okay, that's good.
Okay, yeah, it was, but that was easy. Yeah, and it helps us, it gives us an out, that we can, is there anything else that you wanted?
No.
Is there any unfinished business?
I'm sorry, I do have something, I forgot, I couldn't read my own writing. Have we thought what we're gonna do about Harbor Master?
No, but maybe. We'll talk about that later. There was a meeting with Mike, Mike, and the Harbor Commission or Committee last Friday,
Okay,
or a week ago Friday. A week ago Friday, and they've come up with some, and with Mr. Goodwin. Well, he's on the committee anyway. So we'll talk about that.
okay.
Good.
What was his name again? I can't remember it.
Tom Goodwin?
Goodman, yeah, thank you.
If there's anything hanging out there that we don't remember that we said we're gonna do, don't tell me right now. Just make a list of it in the next 2 weeks, to the 31st. You're gonna tell me and we'll forget again. But just something that might be on your desk, something we've said we were gonna do that's just hanging out there. You know what I mean? You know how we always did that before, you know, at the end of the year, try to get unfinished business, something we said, hey, let's look into. There could be nothing, there could be 2 or 3 things. I don't know.
Is it okay to look at the one we went down a couple of months ago.
Sure, whatever you,
Yeah.
I mean, you might have, I always see notes on your desk when I call and say stuff, and then I forget, whatever, like tonight.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Okay. Is there anything that you guys wanted to,
Talk about on correspondence.
yeah,
Actually, I have one question. This letter from Dr. Mulqueen,
okay?
did we answer that, or should we?
Letter from Dr. Mulqueen, starting
Is it-
time at end of school year. Is that what you're asking about?
Well, that's not what his letter said. He was asking when the paid school air handler
Yeah. He wants,
is gonna start and stop, and according to this contract, it says it'll be substantially completed by August 30th.
Well, what was it, according to the bid, they have 172 days from the date of commencement, although everyone's working to get it done at the end. So, we've signed a contract, I guess they buying all the stuff, and they're gonna be ready to start as soon as school gets out.
Could we,
And-
could we email him tomorrow morning? So
who's
that-
him?
Dr. Mulqueen.
Yeah.
So that they don't go to their school committee meeting tomorrow
Mhm.
night and say we didn't respond.
Okay,
Yeah,
Ma-
that's, because that was at the school committee. I happened to see it on the,
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe you could help Chris
Okay.
formulate
yeah,
that tomorrow.
yeah, okay.
First thing.
First thing, yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
okay.
That was it.
Anything else you want to talk about?
no, that's good.
Okay, let's, we'll go back up to the top, and then we're gonna go into executive session. Reorganization of the Board of Selectmen. There are two positions to reorganize, tonight, is that not? The chairperson and the clerk, is that true?
Yes, and
Yep, is that true? Is this just two people? Okay, perfect. Well, let's take nominations for the chairperson.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to speak. I'm the new kid on the block. I've only been here a couple of years. I'd like to say that I think Glenn did an outstanding job as chairman the last 2 years. It's
Thank you.
been
I would
pleasure to work with him, and we've accomplished some things, and the meetings have run smoothly, and I think you've done a great job at that.
Thank you.
I would agree.
And I also think that Mr. Anderson has been here a while now, and I think he maybe deserves a term as chairman.
I would definitely agree with that.
So I would nominate Joe Anderson
I
for
would
chairman.
second that. And I wouldn't mind getting into a system that we start rotating, if we want
I
to.
would agree with that, too.
Okay. Excellent. Joe's perfect. Anything else?
No.
So that was the motion. I second it. All in favor?
Aye.
And one abstention. You want to still be the clerk?
Sure.
I make a motion that Archie remains to be the clerk.
Second.
Yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, one abstention.
Abstain.
Okay, make a motion to go into executive session, Mass General Law, Chapter 38, Section 21A, Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, 21A, and Mass General Law, Chapter 30, 21A, and to conduct strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel, or to conduct collective bargaining sessions or conduct negotiations with non-union personnel. In case Jen is watching this to write a story about tonight, we'll be going to an executive session to come out just to adjourn. And the people that will be going into executive session would be the three selectmen, Mike Bertino, our finance director, Mike McCarron, our legal counsel and town clerk, and Chris, who is the selectman's assistant. Do I have a, that was a motion, do I have a second? It's been moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Larry, do you want to say something about
Put the parade? Well, yeah,
We need to.
I guess. Yeah, I mean, not really. But yeah, I mean, the parade, yeah. I'm thinking about Jen, but I've already emailed Jen. But yeah, for people who are watching at home, the annual Memorial Day Parade will be happening on May 30th. It will start at the square, which is across, which we call the square, which is across from the pizza place,
Post office.
in the post office at 10:30. All people that are going to be involved in that, which will be meeting at 10 o'clock at the square, and we'll be walking down to the library for a ceremony honoring Memorial Day. And that's
Excellent.
it.